no, come on, no. Currently in early access on Steam, Megasphere is the first game from Anton Kudin, and it's one hell of a gorgeous platformer / roguelite hybrid. In it you play as Atai, a humanoid something or other floating through space on his ship along with its AI, Terms. At present, the game itself consists of exploring a randomly generated area to find the elevator to the next sector. Along the way, you shoot robots, gather power-ups, and die. Probably a lot. Megasphere is still pretty early on in development. As such, there's only one environment, one boss, a handful of enemies, and a choice few weapons. You can't save your progress and come back later, meaning that not only do you lose progress when you die, but when you close the game. So there's no real progression just yet. Every time you hop in, you can choose your starting point and go from there, though I feel like this mainly exists so that players can get a good taste of what's to come for the story more than anything else. Despite the lack of a save feature, or any real kind of progression outside of traversing the abandoned space station, Megasphere is still a gorgeous and fun piece of game. There's an incredible amount of detail that's gone into the environment and the lighting, and all of the animations are insanely well done, with a particularly grabby type of enemy being one of the more terrifying designs. Also, the boss that you can fight against. Yeah, she's pretty terrifying. One of the core mechanics in Megasphere is the weapon and upgrade system. While you play, you'll get little waypoints on your map that point you in the direction of upgrades, weapons, and elevators to new areas. The weapons you gather can be upgraded to have different features. As an example, you can get bolts that penetrate and stick people to walls, or even bullets that bounce around everywhere. This system honestly adds a lot to the otherwise standard gameplay. You'll start with the same gun every time, and it doesn't do a lot of damage. This encourages you to go out and hunt down new weapons and upgrades for them and your suit. Perhaps it's because I haven't managed to get many upgrades going at once, but most of the enemies are not hard to kill, per se, but it takes time and accuracy. They've got large health pools, at least when all you've got is a starter gun, and they're constantly running at you, so you need to be on your toes and jumping hither and thither, which honestly makes it pretty hard to hit them. Combine that with the fact that you're going to be in tight corridors most of the time, and usually beset by more than one enemy at any given moment, and you've got a recipe for it being super damn hard to aim at anything. In most games in this perspective that involve any kind of aiming, you'll pretty much always shoot immediately in the direction that you're pointing. In Megasphere, however, Atai actually needs to rotate its arms around a pivot point so that the gun points in the direction that you want, meaning that it can take a second or two to aim, and this all depends on the weapon that you're using and whether or not you're firing or charging your gun. While this adds on to the aiming difficulty, I feel it adds more onto the physicality of everything in Megasphere. Such a huge amount of detail has gone into grounding the world in reality that I don't really feel like this aim time needs to be removed, but it could be tweaked to be a little less frustrating when I'm trying to shoot any one of about 10 things trying to eat my face. Did I mention how drop-dead gorgeous this game is? Because it is. Seriously. There's a beautiful mixture of pixel art with more modern graphical features like dynamic lighting and physics. Everything in the environment has some sort of physicality to it, whether that's as simple as you passing through little panels, or something more complicated, like your movement being impeded by wires and debris that's scattered about. Also, your bullets run into f***ing everything. It really makes you pay attention to where you're standing and where you're aiming. Right now, Megasphere is an atmospheric game with ridiculous potential. It's gorgeous, challenging, creepy, intriguing, and it's fun all at the same time. Well, in its current state, I can't recommend it to everyone. I can definitely say that if you're a fan of Metroidvanias, 2D shooters, or even just roguelikes, then this is something you should give a look, especially if you're interested in giving the developer feedback to help turn this game into what it could easily become. You can get Megasphere for 15 space bucks on Steam's early access platform. I'm gonna go back and just get my ass kicked by some more robots. That is it for this episode of Indie Bytes. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Be sure to send me any indie games you think I should check out either in the comments down below or on Twitter. My handle's @forkh. You can also shoot me an email. It's fork4h@gmail.com. I will see you next time. Bye!